Okay everybody, here is my comparison video of 3 different white cardstocks for coloring with Copic markers. I have the Copic Express blending cardstock, I have Bella's Bestest cardstock, and I have the CC Designs Copic Quality 80-pound cardstock. And I chose the 80-pound of this because it is similar in weight to the other two, because there's also a 110-pound, which is obviously a lot heavier weight. First off, in terms of whiteness, the Copic Express and the CC Designs are the whitest. I probably isn't coming across on the camera, but the Bella's one is a little bit more like just a shade of off-white. It's not as white. So that's the first thing I noticed. Second is in terms of smoothness. The Copic Express is the absolute smoothest cardstock. Like, I'm quite impressed with how smooth it is. And then the Bella's Bestest is also very smooth, and then the CC Designs. So I've stamped the little bear image from the Bear Hug set, which I will link below if anyone's wondering. I stamped the image with Tuxedo Black Memento ink. That is my ink of choice when I color with Copics. Best ink ever. So I stamped it with the same ink on all 3 images. And then I've got my Copic markers, so I've got E33, E35, and E37. So I will start with the CC Designs 80-pound, and I'm just going to color the face for now. So I start with my lightest, and I'm just laying down a quick base, kind of not going too close to the lines. When you're planning on doing a lot of blending and whatnot with a stamped image, you do not want to stamp or to color like right up to the lines, because as you blend and add more color and saturate the cardstock, it will bleed. So I've started with my E33, and I'm going in with my E35, which is the next darkest. I'm just adding some shadow here and some shading. Like so, and then go in with the E37, which is my darkest. And then back in with the E35 to blend those two together. And then back with the lightest, which is my E33, to completely blend all 3 colors. Okay, that's his little face. Great results, love it. I've been using the CC Designs cardstock since they started carrying it, which has been quite a while now. It saturates quite well. Thinner weights like this, you have to be careful not to oversaturate the cardstock, because then that again is where it will bleed outside the lines. I generally don't have a whole lot of trouble with most colors. Reds bleed quite easily. But yeah, so that's the CC Designs. Now I'll go in and do the same thing with the Bella's Bestest. So exact same thing, start with the lightest, work to the darkest and back. Okay, and there is the face done on the Bella's Bestest. Right off I noticed the smoothest does contribute. It blends really easily. It saturates pretty much at the same rate as the Copic or as the CC Designs. I noticed the color is slightly different on the Bella's Bestest, which is something, if you try out different cardstocks, the Copic colors will come off differently depending on the cardstock. So that is where the only time that's really important is when you have like your swatches and whatnot. Like I have all my swatches just printed off on this. I think this is just Georgia Pacific cardstock. It's just cheap white cardstock anyway. But your swatches, when you go to look for colors, can be different depending on the cardstock you printed it on and what you're actually using. So it's always important to have your swatches on the same type of cardstock you plan on coloring on, because the colors do come out differently. So yeah, much smoother blend. It didn't take as much to blend. That's also probably why the color is slightly different. It didn't take as much ink on the Bella as it did on the CC Designs to blend the colors together. So those are those two. And now I will go into using the Copic XPress. Okay, and you can tell immediately as soon as you start coloring, you can just feel it. It's kind of hard to explain, but as soon as you start laying down the color, you can notice, you really notice the smoothness of this cardstock. Okay, and that is the Copic XPress. Gotta say, I'm really impressed. The smoothest. It does blend amazingly well. The color lays down gorgeously. Same saturation as the other two pretty much. So yeah, they're all three are great cardstocks. By far the smoothest is the Copic XPress. However, I'm just noticing now, it's hard to tell on camera. I think you might be able to see it, but it's slightly uneven in the color compared to the other two. So only time is going to tell to see if it's like that all the time or if I just needed to lay down more color. The CC Designs, in my opinion, got this nicest saturation. I don't know, I just like the color of the markers. It seems to be just more of a deeper color. But yeah, all three are great. Great cardstocks for Copic coloring with stamping. Pretty much, in my opinion, it is up to personal preference, availability, and price. I will post links to all three cardstocks. I got the Copic XPress and the CC Designs from All At Scraps, and then the Bella's Bestest I got from stampingbella.com. The Copic XPress will be available at multiple retailers. We'll be carrying them. The CC Designs is obviously exclusive to All At Scraps, and the Bella's Bestest is exclusive to Stamping Bella. So it just depends on what is most available to you and your personal preference. For me personally, I'm probably going to stick with the CC Designs. I'm going to play with the Copic XPress some more to see if I really like it. I'm not 100% happy with it. Just kind of seems blotchy. It's really hard to explain. But I'm going to play with it some more and we'll see how things go. But for now, I'm pretty much going to stick to the CC Designs. I'm going to play with the Bella's Bestest a little more. I might use this more though for coloring with my Prismacolor pencils instead of my Copics, because the smooth quality makes that for great blending with those. So yeah, there's my quick thoughts on that, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye!